Okay, let's go ahead and walk you through the GTA list builder. I'm Cliff Kerrigan. I built this in order to save myself time, and the thing just turned out so cool I decided to share it with people. Okay, it's a pretty straightforward process. Even though when you're creating a funnel manually, oh, geez, there's a ton of work to do, but yeah, this is going to take care of that for you. Now, Aweber credentials. This is just like it sounds. You want to put your Aweber username, your Aweber password. List description. What I do there is I kind of put a list description in that's associated with the solo ad that I purchased, the traffic flow that I purchased. So for example, if I went to Safe Swaps and bought 500 clicks from somebody, I'll do mine like this. So I know I went to Safe Swaps, and I purchased from Chris Waters, and what I did is I bought 500 clicks. So now when this is going to create my entire list for me, my whole Aweber list. It's even going to pre-populate that list with a series of of relationship building messages that are extremely effective. Okay, so now whenever I'm looking at my account, I can see as leads are coming in that who I paid to put leads there, right? And I do this. I create a lot of little lists based on whoever and wherever I bought it, so that I can keep up with what leads I got from who. And it doesn't take long before you start seeing some patterns, and you know who you want to do business with, who you don't want to do business with, and so on. Okay, so you with me? Your username, your password, and a list description. Okay, now your website credentials. Just enter the URL to the domain that you want to put your funnel in, right? If that gives you any issues, and it shouldn't, but if it does, then you would put in your main website URL. But most of the time, you just put in whatever URL that you want to put this funnel on. Like, and you're just going to use like yourdomain.com. You don't need the HTTP, the www. You don't need any of that. Just yourdomainname.com. Then you've got your username and password. Now this is not your WordPress username and password. This has nothing to do with WordPress. You're going to actually need to put in your cPanel username or your FTP username or whatever you use to access your website, not your WordPress. Whatever you use to access your web hosting company, when you go in there to see your files, that's the username and password that you're going to want to use there. Okay? Your funnel name. Well, this is simple. The software is going to create a funnel for you, and it's got to keep that. It's got to contain that in a folder, and that's what you're going to name this folder. So, for me, I might just name it GTA. It doesn't matter what you name it, as long as it's all lowercase and it's just letters and numbers. You can't have any spaces. You can't have any special characters, because remember, this is going to, when this is finished, it's going to be yourdomain.com/GTA, for example, and that's where your funnel is going to be. So you just keep that real simple, single word, no spaces, no special characters. Okay, now after you've filled all of this information in, you just go ahead and hit check. Now don't hit them both at the same time. You'll cause issues. Check one, then check the other, and what it'll do, it'll go through just a process to verify that, okay, these credentials you put in here are good. We're good to go. Right? And it'll tell you when it's finished, and then you do your next one. And the reason you want to do that is you don't want to take all the time to build a complete funnel just to have it fail and have to start over again. So use these checks. Once you've done that, go ahead and just create your list building funnel. Now this part takes a while. That's mostly determined by your own internet speed, because it's going to end up, after it creates all these files, then it's going to end up loading all of these files onto your server for you and just getting you fixed up that way. Now, in the process, I had this thing create some files, that all the files that it's working with right on your desktop, just so you can kind of see what's going on during the process. Once it's finished with everything, it'll go ahead by default and start deleting those files that it used that are all uploaded on your server now. And some of them are just supporting files that weren't uploaded on your server. They just helped to build the funnel. But even though it's gonna start to auto delete, it does give you the option to where you could cancel the delete if you wanted to keep those and look in them for whatever reason. You can do that. Okay, so that's it. You already know where the tutorial is. That's how you got to this video. The send traffic button, if you haven't clicked that yet, that's just a little primer. That is not the main course. That's just a primer for people who already have a good understanding, good setup with their entire list building methods, and they're just using GTA List Builder, not because they need to learn, but just because they don't want to waste the hours and hours it takes to build a funnel when they could just click a button. So this is just a quick primer. Everybody should go through it. I've got a couple of affiliate links in there, so if you need any of that stuff, I hope you'll click them. But I gave options. You can go direct to the site there. But that's it. This is a pretty straightforward thing. Once you've run it, you're good to go. Okay, so once it finishes, it's gone through all of its processes, all of its steps, and it's uploaded your funnel, it's going to go ahead and open that page up for you. Okay, and now I've got this shrunk down so that you can, so that it'll fit in the screen, but it looks pretty good whenever it's actually the right size. Okay, so what you're going to want to do, go ahead, subscribe to your own list. And the reason that you're going to want to do that is because what you're going to do is you're going to mimic your user's experience. You with me? And what you're looking for, now what I did is I subscribed to my own list. Let me get this thing moved again where you can see it. And it took me to my thank you page, right? That's what yours needs to do. If it doesn't, something's broken, you're going to need to run the software again. Most of the time that's not going to happen, right? So now I've seen that, okay, if my user submits his email address, well, then it's going to take him to the thank you page as expected. Now the next thing I would do is go ahead and click my download button. And the reason I want to do that is so that I can, again, check on what my user's experience is going to be. I want to know that when he clicks that button, he's going to get what I promised him, right? Because I want to start off on a really good note with this new subscriber. I want him to know that I'm going to do whatever it is that I say I'm going to do, right? So it's a big deal. So after you do that, you're good, right? You know from the user's perspective, he's going to have a good experience. Now, the next thing you're going to want to do is go ahead, go to your Aweber account, and log in. You want to look for your list, and you want to see that you've got that list with one subscriber in it. That one subscriber is you. Now, sometimes it'll take Aweber a few minutes before they will actually update that. So if you're not there just right immediately, give it a few minutes. Go ahead and refresh the page, whatever. But the goal here is that you're going to see that when you subscribed, it went just where it was supposed to. It went into your list. So now you know that when you send traffic to your funnel, you know that number one, the user is going to have a good experience, and number two, your email address, or the email address they enter, you are going to collect it. It is going to go into your list, and then you take it from there, which of course the rest of the actual list course is going to walk you through that. But that's it. Build your funnel, test your funnel. You do it every time. I create lots of funnels. Like I said earlier, I tend to create a funnel per solo ad buyer or seller that I work with, or per traffic source that I work with. I'll create a funnel just for that, just so that I can make sure and know with 100% accuracy what I'm really getting out of them. So I have tons of funnels, which means I have tons of lists. Now, you don't have to do that, but I do it. It's handy.